What's up traders, welcome to Failure to Displace. In this video I'm going to show you the setup that I took in the London Silver Bullet session, grabbing this quick 5 pip take profit before taking buy side. We can ultimately see now price has reversed massively, taking out an area of liquidity that we identify in the analysis. So let's jump into the analysis now and we'll see how this trade played out. So as we do each day, we're going to start our analysis off by marking buy side liquidity and sell side liquidity using the 15-minute time frame, specifically looking at previous sessions liquidity. So let's see what's being tapped. So we have buy side here, which was set in New York session yesterday. We can see that the daily low, also set in New York yesterday, has just been swept into the London session. So we've taken previous day's low, which was New York session low from yesterday, and we are closing back inside the range. We have also left some really nice relative equal highs up here, which would be a nice draw on liquidity in my opinion. So we can see, just looking at this 15-minute chart, we've swept previous day's low, we're closing back inside the range, and we have relative equal highs here. So these would be a nice draw on liquidity. Obviously, overall, we are in quite bearish market structure looking at this. We've left big bearish fair value gaps yesterday. We've been unable to pull back and fill these fair value gaps in any way. And then coming into today's session, we're also leaving bearish fair value gaps on the 15-minute chart. So we have a 15-minute order block and a 15-minute breaker block here. I'm just going to highlight this 15-minute fair value gap. This is something that I want to start doing more on my charts, so I understand when price gets to these how it reacts. And we'll highlight this 15-minute fair value gap as well. We've got two 15-minute fair value gaps, our breaker block and 15-minute order block just in here. So price currently has tapped the 15-minute fair value gap right on equilibrium, so the 50%, and rejected away. So that's quite a bearish sign. However, we are still back in this range. So at the moment, I'm a bit indecisive about where price wants to go. We're inside the range, we're trying to break higher, but we have rejected from quite a key level here, so we could be going lower. Let's mark out our sell side for potential lower targets. We've got to go back quite some way, so we're going back to this previous daily low, which was set on Friday the 23rd. So this is our next untapped liquidity level. So we'll have that on the chart as a potential draw. So if we start displacing inside the range, we could expect buy side to get taken and potentially coming higher up here. If we start displacing below the range, we can expect sell side to get taken. Let's drop onto the 1 minute now and let's see what we're presented with. So we can see we've taken the low. We are left nice fair value gap and an entry there. So there was a 2022 mentorship entry before the Silver Bullet hour. Coming into the Silver Bullet hour, we've respected this this fair value gap. We've created another fair value gap, which we are just tapping now. We want to see what's going to happen at this level, this 15-minute fair value gap. So let's start scrolling forward. So we can see price tapping into the 15-minute. Again, there's no long entry here for me because we're at this resistance here. So I want to see some kind of clear break to go higher before I start jumping into longs today. So even though we are back in the range, this resistance has me concerned. I've got no clear direction. I'm just kind of chopping about. Okay, large displacement lower now. So we are displacing to the bottom of the range. We have our sell side liquidity down here, which is our current daily low. So if we start displacing below this, then there may be an opportunity to get into a short position, taking out that low that we highlighted from Friday the 23rd, I believe it was. Let's see. So we've displaced below this. We've taken that low, however, we've closed back inside the range. So this is not a displacement out of the range. So I'm not going to be taking a short here because at the moment we're rejecting off this sell side. So we're closing in. We want to see strong displacement down if we're going to be taking a short here. You can see here we're building relative equal highs at the 50% level of this fair value gap. So that gives us a bullish scenario. Now we do have some liquidity up here that we can potentially be eyeing out. Okay, so we're retracing. We've left a fair value gap. Are we going to close back inside that range? Yes, we do. So what we've got here, we've got a fair value gap breaking back inside the range. We've got relative equal highs here in this form of buy side liquidity into this 15-minute fair value gap. So that's a nice draw on liquidity in my opinion. We've also got a balanced price range here. So we can see bearish fair value gap followed by a bullish fair value gap. Where they overlap, we have a balanced price range. Likewise, balanced price range just below this as well. So we've created two balanced price ranges here. So we've had a strong displacement to the downside with an equally strong displacement back into the range. So we will jump into the live execution here. This is the trade I was looking at. I had my 5 pip stop loss, which was just below this low. The entry was at this fair value gap. The 5 pip take profit falls just below these relative equal highs. So that was the setup that I was looking at. Pulling back in the range, minimum to take out these highs. Potentially, if we can start displacing back in the range, we'll take out the session high. So this was my entry. Let's jump into the live trade now and we'll see how this plays out. There we go. There's your 5. Beautiful. So this was a bit painful to sit through. That's the 5 pips. We've taken this liquidity at the high now, so everything kind of lined up quite nicely, respecting the balanced price range. So we're all closed out. Let's just see if we get a 2 to 1. I like to monitor the 2 to 1s, see whether we should have held. It'll take us over the session high and buy side. Ultimately up there. You can see that we're closing back inside that buy side range now, and we've left a fair value gap above us, so I would definitely be thinking about closing out here. This is a potential 2022 entry model, and we've already highlighted that we do have some nice liquidity down below us as well. So this is a definite closeout for me at this point. Okay, so there we have it. That's back to break even. Closing through them balanced price ranges as well. So we didn't get the 2 to 1 on that one. It looks like the reversal's in order. We're able to build that liquidity on the relative equal highs and potentially take a run at these lows now. So there we go, guys. That was the live execution. I hope you found some value in that video. We can see that the ultimate bias of taking out the buy side of the daily high didn't play out. We engineered some liquidity here in that 15-minute fair value gap that we highlighted, and then we gave the perfect 2022 mentorship entry model for a reversal trade to take out the sell side liquidity that we'd highlighted earlier on. So that's that previous New York session low, giving an epic 7R trade. So I do hope some of you were able to get onto that one, because that was a fantastic trade. Hope you found some value in the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you've got any questions, please leave them in the comments section below, and consider subscribing if you want to see more content like this one. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you again soon with another market review.